these are Speedroids. I'm gonna assume since they have Roid in their name, they will have synergy with Cyrus's Roid skills. Let's talk about their only SR in this box, which is High Speedroid Kendama, a generic level 6 synchro. Packing a nice little 2200 attack. It's actually able to deal piercing damage with that, which is good. 2200 attack is decent for piercing damage. Now, it's no Purgatrio, but this card has 2 specific effects on it, on top of what I'm telling you guys too. And that's you're able to banish a machine type monster to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. You only can do that once per turn though, and if you control no cards or wildest cards in your graveyard, you can special summon it at the cost of not being able to normal summon the turn that you do it. So this sounds super interesting, and because it doesn't say you have to control like any Speedroid monsters or anything like that, it definitely looking like a generic level 6 synchro you could just splash in any deck. Because I mean, any bad situation where you don't have any cards, you're able to special summon from the graveyard. I like this so far. But High Speedroid puzzle off the bat, I mean, it sounds easy to summon, but it sounds like 2600 is so underwhelming, especially in this meta where you can just splash, where people are just splashing 2500 attack and higher monsters with ease. What good is a 2600, 1300 monster gonna do if it battles a special summon monster, right? High Speedroid Agoita, another generic level 5 synchro. If this card is in your graveyard and you control a Speedroid tuner monster, you can special summon this card. But if you do that effect, you only can special summon wind monsters, with all the High Speedroids so far have been. So now this card just got really interesting. So it's now it becomes very disruptive, because I mean, all you got to do is just have a Speedroid tuner and you can special summon from the graveyard and be able to do any of those effects. So easily initiates a level 6 synchro, because all you need is a level 1 tuner. It's easily able to resummon itself as long as you control the tuner, and it's a decent 2000 attack. It doesn't really have any effects that inflict damage like what we saw with the last 2 cards. So what is the importance of this? Why are we doing this, right? High Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice, machine tuner level 1. So damn, that is easily a level 1 for a level 6 synchro. But upon normal or special summon, it can target another Speedroid and change its level from 1 to 6. So this card by itself, let's just ignore the capability within the deck. It can make an easy level 1 to 7 synchro of your choice, and it works perfectly with Hagoita, giving you a level 6, which gives you a easy Speedroid summon. But this card seems it can only target another Speedroid monster and manipulate its level. So with this card, you could practically make any Speedroid monster as long as you have another Speedroid. So Red-Eyed Dice is like the heart of the deck, and it's able to force you to bring out the Hagoita if you have it. So this is really good. Speedroid Double Yo-Yo, on the other hand, it's a machine level 4. When it's normal summon, you can target a level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Now, that seems interesting off top, but I don't know how useful that will be for the archetype. Maybe they have something else to replace this effect. But level 4 into a Red-Eyed Dice is an easy synchro setup. A Speedroid Din, another machine tuner. Another machine tuner that also can be used while the other one's in the graveyard too. You can somehow mill this card to the graveyard. You can banish it and then summon a tuner. So another way this deck cycles. Pretty good card. I like the Red-Eyed Dice a little bit better. But maybe this deck can utilize a Neos engine of some sort, and then this would be the perfect card to toss with Neos Fusion. Speed Recovery. Normal spell. Lets you special summon a Speedroid from the graveyard, any one of your choice, and I'm pretty certain that all the synchros and all the cards that we've seen up till then can be special summoned after being summoned properly. But this card has a secondary effect, which except the turn of send to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard to add a Speedroid monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can either return your synchros you don't want to return your synchros from the deck, you just want to return like tuners and stuff like that. So double use graveyard card that serves more than its purpose. Speed Recovery is definitely a staple in this deck. 3 of easy. Sets up all your plays. Pachinko card is just a way to discard a machine type monster to destroy a card on the field. This actually works with the Din Din. You toss the Din Din to the grave, destroy opponent's monster, and it sets up your graveyard for that future play. High speed re-level. This really opened my eyes on what this deck is supposed to do. And I know for the people who don't like cheese, they're not gonna like this deck. But high speed re-level lets you banish a Speedroid monster from your graveyard, and you target a synchro monster you control, it gains attack to that monster's level times 500. So the highest Speedroid I seen over here was the level 4. You can also banish synchros. So let's say you banish a level 6, so a maximum of a 3k boost, right? So this deck becomes now a cheese deck. So now I get this deck completely, because now you can banish, pump, and then just attack into your opponent's special summon monster per se. It turns this deck into an OTK cheese deck, and now this deck has opened our eyes. So now you get your true nades out, get all these ways to do big damage to your opponent, backup rider, high speed re-level, all that. So the next archetype we got here, probably the most talked about archetype in this set, and one that I'm super excited to try out. I've never seen it before. Witchcrafters. Witchcrafter Shmieta. So if you summon her, they floodgate, you're dodging it easily. They summon her, they target her with something, you're dodging it. As long as it's in the main phase, so they have to wait for you to go into battle before they start doing stuff to it. Now, this card also has a secondary effect. While it's in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard to send a Witchcrafter card with a different name from your deck to the graveyard. So that's monsters or spell and traps. So I also see fire, which does bring up Purgatrio energy. Witchcrafter Madame Vier. So her first effect is pretty ridiculous. During damage calculation, if a spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster, you can pump by 1,000 attack and defense for each number of spells with different names that you reveal until the end of the turn. So that keyword damage calc is very crucial, because you know your opponent's not gonna they have to put all their cards out on the field, not on the field, but you know they're taking risks dealing with this card, because they don't know how many normal spells you have in your hand, and any damage step effects, they have to put them out there for you to trump them. So you're always an advantage here as long as when it comes to damage step effects. So maximum attack boost looking like a plus 6,000 if you can manage to get 6 spells with different names in your hand. We'll say an easy 4,000 is possible with this deck. She also can do, it pumps their attack and defense, so you can do this when your opponent attacks into you. You have to be very careful. Now the thing that makes this card really ridiculous, which is her secondary effect, you can discard a spell card from your hand and negate the effects of all opponents face-up monsters. So this is not like it's a quick effect, so you can wait till they trigger something, but if they have like annoying continuous effects and things like that, you can negate. It's pretty much, she's a walking skill drain once per turn if you discard that spell card. So this card's pretty interesting, and she's searchable with the Witchcrafter Shmieta, so it's not going to be a hard card for you to put on the field. Witchcrafter Pitori. This one's a little bit weaker all around, but it does have the main phase dodge effect, which you could discard a spell, summon a Witchcrafter monster from your deck. The thing that separates her from Shmieta is that you can banish her from the graveyard to draw a card and discard a Witchcrafter card from your hand to the graveyard, or risk banishing your entire hand, which I'm pretty sure you won't take that risk unless you have to. So both of these cards can tutor out the Vieri pretty easily, but one offers the draw from the deck and the other one offers the search and the mill. So got a solid engine here. I'm seeing water and fire, so Purgatrio and Casitas super easily. Witchcrafter Collaboration. It is a normal spell. One Witchcrafter monster can attack 2 times, plus if it attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. So this is supporting that fact that they are kind of like an OTK deck. So you target a Witchcrafter, it can't be targeted, it's a walking ancient gear monster. It's just shutting your opponent out of their spell and traps when you attack twice. So that is pretty ridiculous. And going back to Vieri, you can trigger the effect to pump it by you can pump it up to whatever specific amount and attack twice with it. That is ridiculous. So the secondary effect here is once per turn during your end phase, if you control a Witchcrafter monster, you can add this card from the graveyard to your hand. So before I go more into that recurring effect, you can only do it one of the effects of this card of them per turn. So you can't trigger the double attack and then get it back at the end phase. You have to choose one or the other. So it's like I activate this effect and then later on I'm gonna recur it back with the effect on the following turn or something of that sort if I can control a Witchcrafter monster. So this is the key staple card of the deck. This is I wouldn't say it's like a giant Trunade, but this is the one that's going to deal with the back row and give you that leeway to get to your opponent's. You're going to get that leeway and wait for that monster to be open so you can just punch over and get that big pump. So key card of this deck, and it's self-recurable. That is ridiculous to me. Witchcrafter Holiday. This lets you special summon a Witchcrafter monster from your graveyard, and then it also has the self-recurring effect. So keep in mind, these are all the spells that you'll be using with different names, and I'm seeing the synergy here that you can add them back to your hand so you can reveal them with the Vieri later on. But keep in mind, none of the Witchcrafters I talked about had like a summoning condition, so it's really easy to trigger a Witchcrafter Holiday. And it's really easy to put these cards in the graveyard with the Shmieta's effect to recur them later on. So a lot of mill and synergies here. Mill and reborn, mill and recur. Witchcrafter Unveiling, which is a quick play. A quick play that allows you to special summon a Witchcrafter from your hand, and if you do, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to a spellcaster's effect activation during that turn. So if you did Unveiling and then drop the Vieri on the field, your opponent's probably not going to attack into it unless they know they have a way around it, because once you activate your pump or any of your Witchcrafter's effects, they can't respond to it, so they're just stuck. They're just stuck in a sense almost. So this card also has the recurring effect where it can get itself back from the end phase, and that's what I'm noticing from a lot of these, but this is a quick play defensive card. Also, if you could use it aggressively as well, so either defensively or offensively. So this card very versatile, but you're probably going to run multiples of these just to make sure you always have those spells able to be revealed. So that sums up this archetype. Very scary, and the fact that it functions with Purgatrio because you have the light and the water and the fire attribute. This is scary. This is scary, very scary, and looking like one of the decks in this set that maybe can become tier worthy, but we'll just have to see. So that is Witchcrafters for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did, and I can't wait to get these cards in my hand and get it going.